I think they at least win one back in Dallas. Are you're sniffing sweep?
I was team Mavericks this entire time. I was team anti-Celtics for an entire season.
Do you remember when Bill Maher wasn't a complete piece of shit?
If you're in a car that is half an inch off the ground and you're going 200 miles per hour and a gopher comes out of nowhere, that is catastrophic.
Did Luigi throw out his banana peel at any point?
The Lakers come out of this looking like absolute schmucks.
Lawrence Fishburne as Doc Rivers, to me, and maybe I'm just a moron, maybe the greatest casting decision I've ever seen.
You know, I just watched 7 seasons of Young Sheldon in like 3 days. So that's how I roll.
Caitlin Clark should just be on the team because she's the most famous one.
I'm Michelle Beadle.
And I am Peter Rosenberg. And this is Over the Top.
Here's how the show works. Best stories of the week in sports and pop culture facing off. We're going to crown a champion. We're going to answer one simple question. What's the undisputed, most important thing on planet Earth this week? We're going to decide it the only way we know how, and that is using Royal Rumble rules. Start with 2 stories, decide which one's a little more worthy to discuss, which one's got to go, and after 90 seconds, a new story will be introduced, and we'll have to decide whether we want to keep talking about our current story or switch over to the new one. We do not know the order of stories coming our way, but we do decide which ones get thrown over the top rope. Peter, what's first?
All right, first topics of this big day. I called it. I nailed it. I mean, literally almost to the day. Mm-hmm. The Jake Paul-Mike Tyson fight has been rescheduled for November 15th, just before Thanksgiving. Now, that match up against, wait for it, topic 2, despite Luka putting up a 32-point triple-double and all other Dallas starters in double digits, it wasn't enough to beat the Celtics, and the Mavs now find themselves heading home down 0-2. Their 15 turnovers and multiple missed free throws may have played a factor. Are we talking about the fight being rescheduled or the Mavs going down 0-2? Man, you're putting me in a tough spot at the top of the show. Because we can't have we have to go with NBA Finals, don't we?
Well, because here's the issue. The way the Celtics look right now, this thing will be over by the weekend during the weekend. So I kind of feel like if we don't talk about the finals now, we may not get a chance other than perhaps, I guess, to react next week.
No. We gotta talk NBA Finals. We gotta toss Tyson Paul over the top. I'll say on their way over the top. It's interesting. They moved it to the week before Thanksgiving, and it's interestingly a Friday night, which I was trying to figure out earlier because the Cowboys don't play that weekend until Monday night. But either way, I'm still stoked. I think it's going to be a great time. I don't mind the timing. The week before Thanksgiving, I think that's a nice spot for them on the calendar. But we have plenty of time to bring up the craziness that is Tyson Paul.
Because it will be postponed again. You know this, mark it.
So, yeah, we have until at least April when it happens. So I hear what you're saying. That this series could be over quickly, but I don't think it will be. I think the Mavs figured out at home.
Figure out what?
I think listen, they haven't been getting, in game 1, they did get their ass quite handed to them.
Handed on a tray. Yes.
Game 2, though, was definitively a more competitive game.
And they still didn't have an answer. That's why I'm saying it's over.
Yeah, but also, hold on. Let's banty back and forth, shall we? They were down 5 with a minute and a half left on the road. Like, this was not a blowout. Now, you could argue Tatum could play better, could certainly shoot better from the field. But I could also argue Drew Holiday can't play any better.
He's amazing.
So he's not going to be 11 for 14 every night.
Isn't he?
Kyrie is not going to be as bad in Dallas as he is in Boston.
I would hope not.
I think they at least win one back in Dallas. Are you're sniffing sweep?
I wasn't. I was team Mavericks this entire time. I was team anti-Celtics for an entire season. But they are so good defensively. And then when you can get a guy like Drew Holiday, who maybe people forgot also is allowed to shoot the basketball and did it quite well in game 2. I mean, look, I don't even need Tatum to show up. And it's also better for us as people who talk about sports if Tatum doesn't show up and the Celtics still win this thing. So I'm not holding my breath. I'd like to think they win one out of pride alone. But I wouldn't be shocked if this thing was over by the weekend. God,
I have a
that's
point to
tough.
make, but let's see if I get the chance.
All right, let's see.
Based on this next subject.
Up next, only 5 players have won the Masters, the Players, and the Memorial in their careers. Scotty Scheffler, Tiger Woods, Fred Couples, Raymond Floyd, and Jack Nicklaus. On Sunday, however, Scotty Scheffler did something only Tiger has done before. He won all 3 in the same year. Do we want to continue talking about the finals, or do we switch it over to Mr. Scheffler?
Scheffler is doing things that are crazy. He is in rarefied air. Like we've had so many moments when it seems like there's going to be a next Tiger and it hasn't happened. And this guy appears like it may be him.
Could happen.
But I still have more on the NBA Finals. What about
That's
you?
fine. I look, Scotty Scheffler, as I throw you over the top, the guy shot 2 over on the final day this past weekend and still won by a stroke. Like, that's how good he was. Over the top, sir. Carefully.
Yeah, no.
Carefully.
Back to the basketball.
Okay.
You said if Tatum shows up.
Offensively.
He almost had a triple-double in game 2. He
It's
had
like 16 points. Are we counting
but
that?
hold on. Yeah, but hold on. But I think he had 11 assists and 9 rebounds. Like the dude's
did.
balling.
So you're trying to
he's
brag
shooting-
about the guy who appointed himself the best player in the league, not even having 20 points and not quite a triple. Is that what we're doing? Are we doing that?
Well, I don't care about what he says. I'm just being realistic about the truth of the matter.
What do
okay?
you mean you don't care what he said? First of all, when you say that about yourself, and no one put a gun to his head to say it, mind you, you immediately open up a can of worms that you can never put back. Because assholes like me will forever remember that you're the guy that told us that you're the best. And you're not even arguably the best on your team.
Well, in this series, point-wise, he has not been the best on his team. And you could say that Jaylen Brown's on his way to getting a finals MVP. That's on the table.
That's my guy.
Honestly, Drew Holiday could be on a path towards it. Kristaps Porzingis has been... No, listen, Tatum may be the 4th best player on the team right now. But I'm just saying, even in your argument is fair, but he is still contributing in a real way.
Sure.
Like those are real big contributions.
You know
He's
what?
not
Yeah,
a
I bet
passenger.
he and Hauser and Pritchard can sit at the back of the bus and talk about how they contributed. That's cool. It's adorable.
Give
Give me
what
the
I'm talking about.
documentary right now.
No, that's what I'm talking about. He's not Peyton Pritchard, okay?
No,
or
he's
Doogie
not.
Howser. Or Doogie Howser for that matter.
I love Doogie Howser.
And there's still a lot of series left.
Do you know do you remember the theme song to Doogie Howser? Dum 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 dum.
Of course.
Okay.
I use that on many of my radio shows.
I love it so
Yeah, that's a theme song you love to play. Up next, the NBA is looking to expand for the first time since 2004, and Adam Silver teased 3 possible cities.
Oh, no.
Las Vegas, Seattle,
Interesting.
and Mexico City. Do we want to keep talking about the NBA Finals
Nope.
status
Nope.
or the NBA possibly expanding somewhere interesting?
No, dude, I want to talk expansion because those 3 choices, kind of a hot take, right? So finals, I'm hoping when we tape again this here podcast next week, it will be on a day when a game is being played that night. Or at least
Over the
around
top,
that time.
Mavs and Celtics.
Bye. Okay, now, Vegas is a no-brainer, right? Vegas is happening.
I would think Vegas is it. Like it's a lock already.
Seattle seems like the emotional sort of tug at your heartstrings city to put out there because here in the year 2024, there are still people who are clamoring and hoping and praying and wishing that Seattle gets an NBA team back. So if it's 2, then yay. But if it's 1, does Vegas just win this thing out and they're really only naming the other 2 just to make us feel better?
If it's 1, has to be Vegas. If it's 2, it's Vegas, Seattle. I don't think it's Mexico City right now. I just don't.
I mean, I love Mexico City. The food
I
is
know. Fire.
stupid.
And this is no knock to Mexico City. I've never been. I've heard it's tremendous.
amazing.
But did they really have the appetite for an NBA team?
I don't know. To add another international, it's like if you're already dealing with the bitch and the hassle of going through customs for one city, what's the added another one, right? But if you're giving me those 3 choices and we're picking 2, yeah, I think Mexico City will be the odd person out. But at least they're on the list, which means if we further the list down the road, would they be the top spot? Perhaps, yes. But give me Vegas and then give me Seattle. Boom.
Yeah, it's just such a combination of things from Mexico City. Like, do they want it that much? Do the teams feel like dealing? It's a lot. There's a lot there.
It's a lot, but God bless the food. Up next, UFC legends Anderson Silva and Chael Sonnen. I always butcher his name, but that was right.
No,
right?
Chael is right.
Chael, like not Kale.
No, you know what? I wanna lie to you. It's. I'm sorry, I had to correct you. It's Chael
Sonnen. No, what if somebody tunes in right then? They're like, these two are idiots. Chael will face off in a 5-round exhibition boxing match in Brazil next weekend. Silva and Sonnen had a legendary 2-fight rivalry. Two fights, woo! Back in UFC days. Do we want to continue talking about NBA expansion or whatever cash grab these two are up to this weekend? What is this?
Throw Adam Silver and the NBA expansion over the top. Here's my question. 2 great names, 2 all-time great MMA competitors. Have we seen a great boxing match from strictly MMA guys yet?
Have we, correct me if I'm wrong, and I have checked out of that world quite honestly, but other than a Paul brother dragging one of their corpses over from UFC retirement to box,
which happened with Silva.
Them? Exactly, and I dumbly paid for it, thinking it would be something. Have we seen where they branch out and just go strictly boxing to UFC guys?
Yeah, I mean, you would think, at least from a competitive standpoint, it's a way to get to see these great fighters fight in a way that they're still capable of maybe doing it, right? Like, you don't want to see guys at their age wearing the small gloves and like breaking things.
Grappling.
But with bigger, boxing gloves.
Okay.
And without the same kind of ability to punish, because neither's a boxer. It's kind of a safer way to get to see these guys compete. So I'm not mad at it.
I don't hate it, actually. I started out hating it, but I don't hate it now.
No, I don't hate it, but am I spending money for it?
Oh, I'm sorry. We have to pay for this? That's a different story. Was that the question? Was the question, are we paying for this?
If the question is, are you paying for this? What do you say?
I'm going to say no. I am very busy this weekend. I have things to do.
Well, I'm going to Vegas this weekend for a fight.
Oh, okay.
Gervonta Davis is fighting in Vegas this weekend, and he's like maybe the best fighter in the sport. And Ben Benitez is on the same card also, and he's one of the best fighters in the sport. So, like, there are real boxers having boxing matches. It's like, if it interests you, boxing, you can always watch the old boxers and see how they do it. That is an option for you. All right, the Canadian Grand Prix. Well, you guys are really...
I'm sorry, Peter, it's Grand Prix.
The Canadian Grand Prix had everything. Rain. Overtakes, crashes, multiple lead changes. But after Lando Norris went from 3rd to 1st by overtaking Verstappen and Russell back to back, McLaren made a safety car strategy mistake. This is literally like they're just having me read in French.
You love it.
Likely costing him the race. Verstappen ended up winning again. Lando finished right behind him. On the radio, Red Bull's race engineer was heard saying, "What goes around comes around," in reference to Lando's first win at the Miami Grand Prix, where a similar safety car situation helped him beat Max. Yep. Do we want to talk about the state of UFC fighters fighting or whatever bullshit I was just talking about?
Bruh. If you think I'm going to keep talking about these two fighting, you're insane. And I watched every second of the Montreal Canadian Grand Prix. I watched a lot of qualifying the day before.
Well, listen, you have all the room in the world to explain to me what happened. I got no clue.
Okay, I will. So,
Silva,
gentlemen,
Sonnen, get the hell out of here.
Like, just look at the image we're showing. And if you're not watching us on the old YouTubes, shame on you.
Or Amazon Prime.
Get on it, people. Do what you got to do. But the image is basically the race in a nutshell. Montreal was dealing with what can only be described as multi-personality weather patterns. There was hail on Thursday during practice. Oh, it went from hail, 70 degrees, to torrential downpour, to bright ass sun, back to torrential downpour, to sun, back to sprinkling. And if you think about all that in regards to a track where cars are going at, 200 miles per hour on the straightaways, and they had the added bonus of little gophers that have made their livings, their lives, they inhabit the areas around the track. And it was very scary because yes, a gopher, if we're driving on the highway at 75 miles per hour, I'm going to feel awful, but it's not going to just completely throw my whole world into a spin. If you're in a car that is half an inch off the ground and you're going 200 miles per hour and a gopher comes out of nowhere, that is catastrophic. But yes, it was a great race. The beginning is usually where everything happens in a lot of tracks in Formula One, Peter. Like a lot of tracks are so set and narrow that you don't have very many passing attempts. So basically how the race starts in a lot of cases is how it will end, which is why Verstappen for the most part has won everything. But he didn't start in the pole position this time. And George Russell also blew it as well. So Verstappen got a little bit lucky in this particular race, but there was parity. And yes, Lando Norris, they effed up the safety car situation, timed it actually incorrectly. And that's how he ended up losing to Max. He's not like he was mad about it. He kind of laughed and said, well, basically, he also said what goes around comes around. It was a great race as far as races go. I'll leave it at that.
Okay, did the princess or Yoshi do anything in this race?
No. They could not be found.
Okay, what
we
about...
also had trash talking on an epic level, like a former race car driver / champ called out one of the most fan-favorited racers in Daniel Ricciardo and basically said, "You're garbage, mate. I don't even know why you're still here." So like there was stuff going on. Did
Luigi throw out his banana peel at any point?
It's a Luigi.
I'm sorry. By the way, I'm not mocking the sport. I'm just mocking my lack of knowledge. I don't know any. It happened too late, and then I tried to watch the reality show, and I didn't, and so I just I feel like a dumb American.
I feel like if I could get you like a Cliff Notes version of the drama, right? The shit talking.
I know everyone talks about it like it's wrestling, like it's a big soap opera.
But it's real. But it's like they really, when they don't like each other.
But the problem is it requires it's just weird because it requires such knowledge of it. But then if you just throw on a race without the knowledge, you're like, what am I watching?
There's only 20 drivers. And be quite frank, you really only need to know like 7 or 8. You'll eventually know all 20 just through osmosis. But the real drama is 7 or 8-ish. There's one American. So that's easy.
But you would admit it's a hard sport to throw on and just be like, I get what I'm watching.
I mean, the Netflix show helps for sure because they make it interesting and palatable and there's like organic drama. So yes, I agree with you. If you just turn on a race, you'll probably know as much as Danica Patrick. Oh, zinger.
Hello.
She's not liked. Okay, go on. Oh, no, it's my turn. We're halfway through the show right now. I like this. I don't know if this has ever happened before. The most important topic of the day is Formula One. I think it'll make it to the end. We'll be right back.
I'm sure it will.
Welcome back to the old over the top. Peter, we need a challenger, my friend.
Sometimes you say my name so crazy.
Peter.
You know a lot of Peter.
Peter.
All right, over the last few days, UConn head coach Dan Hurley had become the front runner to take the Lakers head coaching job. Hurley said the Lakers made a compelling case, but news broke Monday that he turned down a 6-year, $70 million offer, and he's heading back to UConn. Interesting conspiracy theory that's been banting about from Joe Pompliano that, quote, it's almost like Dan Hurley leaked all of this through a trusted media source who literally wrote a book on his dad to secure himself an even bigger contract at UConn. Woj gets a big scoop. The Lakers get to say we tried, and Hurley gets a huge raise.
Damn.
Win. Ooh,
I don't know about that.
Yeah, I don't know if the Lakers...
Formula One go over the top.
You tried. Formula One... No, you had a hell of a run. You had a hell of a run.
Great weekend.
Let's start with the take. First of all, I'm not shocked Danny Hurley didn't go. I thought this is a guy who can go to the NBA whenever he feels like it. Does he want to sign up for whatever this LeBron, Bronny situations, Anthony Davis situation is going to be? Now, Beetle, how do you feel about the conspiracy theory? Because I've got some flaws in there.
Well, I've heard it from a couple pretty decent sources as well, that this was from the get-go a pretty manufactured story / leak. And I disagree that it's a win-win-win. I think it's a win for Woj, and I think it's a win for Dan Hurley. I do not agree that it's a win for the Lakers. The Lakers come out of this looking like absolute schmucks. And they look like they're running an organization that was once the top of the mountain and considered one of the iconic organizations in all of sports, not just basketball. And they can't get a guy to commit to being their coach. So for me, they come out the big losers. I don't agree that it's win-win-win at all.
I'm with you 1000%. I don't see how that's a win for the Lakers. And if they're seriously interested in, say, JJ Redick or whoever else it is, does it help them at all that they know that they offered $70 million to Dan Hurley and couldn't get him? I just don't know where the win is there.
They look cheap in regards to, oh my God, they're going all in on Dan Hurley. And I understand what I'm saying. 70 million is not cheap, but it averaged to about 11 something over a year. It would have put him like 6th highest paid NBA coach, which is pretty good. But he's a Hurley.
Why would Dan Hurley come to the league and get less than Monty Williams?
And why would he come to the league and have to deal with this kind of BS? I just feel like I'm with you. He can three-peat, put himself on a list with John Wooden, for God's sakes. A Hurley, if we know anything about the Hurleys, that's a legacy family, if there ever was one in the coaching ranks of American sports. So yeah, I'm with you. He can get a job in the NBA whenever he feels like it. I have enjoyed this as a Spurs fan / Lakers hater more than my own personal wins. This has been for chef kiss.
And for the Lakers, like being a Celtics fan, so the Celtics are in the middle of playing for championship number 18, and the Lakers just can't get a head coach while they have this messy team that's
and they
just
tried to
not
steal
very
your
good.
thunder, Peter. They tried to steal your thunder with the leak last week.
I know.
We're on to you guys.
I know. I saw Celtics fans like really angered about the story. I'm like, I don't care. I hear you, but I'm also like, it's a reach. They know this isn't a good story. But you should be happy
now. Celtics fans should be loving today.
Oh, you gotta love it. It's hilarious. It's absolutely hilarious. All right, up next.
Are you watching Clipped? The dramatized TV version of Donald Sterling's downfall with the Clippers. Episode 3 drops tonight. That's Tuesday. Social media has been roasting the casting choices. Lawrence Fishburne, though, seems like a better coach, according to some. I'm not saying this, Doc, if you're watching, than Doc Rivers. And the Clippers have never, ever been this interesting. Do we want to continue talking about Dan Hurley's leverage move? Or
get the hell out of here, Dan Hurley. Love you. Wait. Hold on. I have to know. I have not been paying attention to social media recently because I'm done. What casting choices are they hating on?
All of them.
Doc Rivers is literally, Lawrence Fishburne is Doc Rivers to me, and maybe I'm just a moron, maybe the greatest casting decision I've ever seen.
The voice sounded from the clips. And look, I have not seen it. You have. So you obviously, you need to enlighten me now.
I will.
The voice sounds good, but I know Austin Rivers kind of made fun of it a little bit. And
you may be a little close to it, bud.
The players, I think, is where everyone's getting crushed.
Hold on. Let me explain to everyone how the show works.
Okay.
First of all,
and by the way, shout out Ramona Shelburne, who is an EP of this show. Okay, go.
Well, it was her, and it's based on her podcast, right?
Yep, and I love this for her.
Yeah, and shout out to my dude Rembert Brown, who's a really talented writer who's on the show as well. I didn't know any of that until I watched the show.
That's hilarious.
I remembered afterwards. I was like, oh yeah, I remember Ramona had a podcast about. Oh yeah, that all feels familiar. But I only watched the show on account of how impressed I was when I saw the visual of Lawrence Fishburne as Doc Rivers. I was like, oh, I'm in. But dude, I looked it up. They're the exact same age. I can't explain why I think they're so good. And I never would have thought of Ed O'Neill as Donald Sterling, but he's terrific too.
I love Ed O'Neill. So
here's what you have to understand when you watch this show.
Okay.
The basketball players and the basketball being played, if you're watching it for those things, you're on the wrong show.
No, yeah.
You should be watching it for the characters that matter. Doc, Donald Sterling, Sterling's wife, and the girl, V. Stiviano. Those are the characters who matter. The players are all like
it's just
accoutrement.
Background. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they have like some relevance. And yes, they're referencing DeAndre Jordan and Blake Griffin. And if you're being like, oh my God, the guy that got to play Steph Curry does not shoot like Steph Curry.
Well,
no, you're right. It's that's not what it's for.
If we've learned anything, Hollywood doesn't do sports playing very well in so many of their shows and movies. They don't have the time to teach an actor who clearly has never played this particular sport, and I'm talking about any of them, how to look proper doing it. There's nothing more irritating than when an actor throws a football in a movie and you're like, dear God, have you ever even seen a football before? So I'm not going to hold that against them.
Well, maybe we'll get more time here. We'll see.
Okay,
Up next, Carlos Alcaraz, just 21 years old, won the French Open, became the youngest player ever to win a major on all 3 surfaces. He's won the U.S. Open hard court, on the grass at Wimbledon, and on the clay now at the French.
Oh.
Do we want to continue talking about Clipped or Alcaraz?
Yeah, I don't have much to add to Alcaraz other than, man, he's done a lot more at 21 than we'll do in our entire lives. That's about all of the wisdom I have to impart on that particular story.
And yeah, him and Scotty Scheffler may be the two faces of their sports for a very long time. But let's go over the top, Alcaraz. We'll see it. We'll see it at Wimbledon in a little while. Let's get to Clipped because I want to.
Clipped. That's a tough name, by the way. Real tough name.
Clipped.
That's because I'm immediately thinking of vasectomy. Like that's all I'm thinking about right now.
Oh, you didn't go Briss.
No. That's I'm going later in life type stuff. Clipped.
I got it.
Yeah.
And you go clipped over snipped?
Yeah, I think so. Because you either way you're snipping or you're clipping.
It's okay. Here's how I view this show. Showtime on HBO, I really enjoyed.
Sure.
But I didn't finish it, which is probably telling. I want to go back and finish it.
Telling.
Showtime did a great job. Like the basketball was pretty well done. Every secondary character who plays an athlete is like really impressive.
I like it.
And even the primary characters, the dude who they got to play Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, how they found like a 7-foot dude who can act and looks like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is crazy. Like their details were phenomenal. However, as evidenced by the fact that I didn't finish it, it's good, but it's a bit dense. This show is not attempting to be prestige television.
Okay.
It's attempting to be like a little slutty, a little cheap, and you're really going to enjoy yourself.
That's
to
FX,
me,
right?
Here's the twist. So yes, it's about a recent story. To me, that's one demerit. I already think it's not going to be good. And it's on FX, and like, is it going to be like the OJ show? Or like, it has all of those things about it. But then when you add Lawrence Fishburne and Ed O'Neill, you're kind of like, but those are two big time, legit powerhouse actors. I have no money from these people. Strongly recommend Clipped.
Fine. How about this? I will give it a few more weeks so that I have like 4 or 5 to watch at once.
You need to binge.
Because my attention span, I just watched 7 seasons of Young Sheldon in like 3 days. So that's how I roll. Up next, there's a
weirdo.
I really have problems. There's a raging debate that is sweeping the nation. We must weigh in. Yes, it really is. I can't get anywhere without somebody asking me about it. A mom's TikTok rant. That's what's wrong with this world. A mom's TikTok rant about refusing to return her grocery store shopping cart has gone viral. She said, "I'm not returning my shopping cart, and you can judge me all you want. So if you're gonna give me a dirty look, back off." Most of her argument comes from not wanting to load her groceries and 3 kids into the car, walk away, citing child abduction and car theft fears. I mean, okay, yes. However, a whole bunch of other moms, they all clap back, claiming they can do all that and still return their cart. Do we want to continue talking about Clipped or this human that put her horrible behavior on the internet for us to judge? Sir.
I love Clipped, and I haven't even seen this thing, but I'm kind of curious, and I'm not getting paid, so I've already given Clipped enough love.
It's a great point. It's a great point.
So let's throw Clipped over the top, but go watch it. Really fun. And so real quick, it's her own rant. She snitched on herself.
100%. Thinking, I don't know what, that the world was going to have her back or that they were not going to have her back and that she wanted to simply go viral. I don't know. We live in a world, Peter, where I do not understand human motivation anymore because people are willing to look like a jackass on purpose.
And here's what's crazy about it. When you explained the rationale as to why she didn't bring the cart back, I'm not mad at her.
Sure.
Like in a moment, you're like, I got 3 kids. I'm not leaving them here. I got to go. Someone from the store will take care of it. It's going to be okay. I'm fine. It's fine. It's fine. Why you would defensively scream about it, I don't understand. Like now it looks suspect. Like if I walked up and I saw like that someone did that and I see like 3 kids screaming and I see them like frustratedly just close the door and drive away, I'm not going to scream, "What the F is your problem?" I'm going to go, I get it. They couldn't deal. They had to go. You had to go.
I always put my shopping cart back. That's because it's the right thing to do. And I'm talking about in Texas sunshine heat where it's 110 degrees outside and I want to kill a person. But I still put my shopping cart back, not just because it's a pain in the ass for the employees to have to scour the lot, but also like you're blocking spots for the next people. Because let's not get it twisted. They're never put away neatly in the spot. No. They block an entire freaking spot.
Listen, you're doing the right thing. My point is, on a given day, I would forgive someone for doing it.
I would.
Like it's not like a.
If I saw that.
If you say I never, as a rule, I refuse to put them back, I'd say you're a bad person.
It's like, hey, going on the internet and saying, I am a dickhead. Then the whole world comes out and says, God, you're such a dickhead. And then you're like, hey, why are you guys calling me a dickhead? Like, no one asked you for this opinion. You put it out there. It doesn't make you look great.
Because guess what? Viral. It only matters to be viral. That's all that matters, dude.
It doesn't matter why. It really
and
doesn't.
I don't get it. I really don't. I had a couple of things that were sort of viral a couple of weeks ago. None of them particularly positive. I didn't gain anything.
No.
I didn't. Nothing. No. Dude, I made a random social media clip a couple of weeks ago on my Instagram, like a silly wrestling-based clip.
Oh, God.
It keeps getting reposted. It's up to over 1 million. It's up to over 1 million plays.
Yeah.
No new followers. No new anything. No. It does nothing. No. It does nothing.
That's the world we live in, Peter.
All right. Another week. Another Caitlin Clark story. All right. Over the top you go, weirdo lady. You know we're talking about Caitlin Clark.
Be better.
Over the weekend, USA Basketball released their Olympic roster, and Caitlin Clark was left off the team. Some are screaming that the old guard of women's basketball is icing Caitlin Clark out. Oh, the disrespect. While others in Takedown are saying Clark is a rookie and her time will come. It's a stacked team. Who would she have replaced in the first place? Let's talk about this for a second, Beetle, because the comments I saw of women's basketball needs to understand Caitlin Clark's importance and just put her on the team because you might as well come out and just say, since this is a fake sport and we're doing it just to appease girls anyway, Caitlin Clark should just be on the team because she's the most famous one. But if it's a real sport with people working their asses off to make it, shouldn't the best players get to play? Mm-hmm. And Caitlin Clark, who's going to be a great player, is currently not at the top of her sport.
Right.
She's not shooting well from the field. She's turning the ball over. You know, she's this thing. There's a word for it. She's
hold on. What is it? Hold on. It rhymes with Snooki.
She's Snooki from Jersey Shore. She's a rookie. And this happens. So, like, I just would like to send a message to my fellow men who cover sports. If you don't watch the WNBA, it's okay. Mm-hmm. I don't regularly watch the WNBA at this point in my life. You don't have to have an opinion on everything. Like, you could just sit back and let the people who know about it talk about it. Or you could do the research on a given subject and say something that makes sense. Like,
Peter, stop.
Like, watch this. I'm going to tell you how I, Peter Rosenberg, felt. I saw a headline. It said, Caitlin Clark is not on the women's Olympic team. Mm-hmm. And I went, really? In my brain, I went, really? That's surprising to me. Then I looked at the list of players. Yeah. And then I did 26 seconds of research and saw no one was under the age of 26. And I remembered Caitlin's 22 and she's not even playing particularly well. And at that point, I thought, oh, it's really not that surprising. It's just that she's very famous and sort of interesting that she won't be on the team. Oh, well, that's that. Guess there's nothing to see here. But we can't have that, Beetle.
No. I knew that this story had jumped the shark when Nikki Haley tweeted about it. And when Bill Maher did a whole monologue about it. And I was we're doing this.
Wait, hold on. What did Bill Maher say?
Well, Bill Maher went on the WNBA rant about how all the women are mad because Caitlin Clark, I believe, is white and heterosexual, you know.
Do you remember when Bill Maher wasn't a complete piece of shit?
I do. I remember. This is the Bill Maher I liked. I liked the fully libertarian hooker purchasing Bill Maher. Like, I like the guy who proudly talked about his sex life and how he went about it, and who just sort of I tended to side with on certain kind of logical issues. Now he has joined the grift.
He did the old poor Caitlin, why is everyone hating on her?
Yes, it's I'm telling you, eye rolling. And I had the exact same reaction. Well, maybe we still talk about it, so hold on. A shocker from WWE. Super popular high flyer Ricochet spurned the WWE universe over the weekend by deciding not to re-sign with the company, ultimately becoming a free agent. Now, fans are speculating that he's AEW bound to renew his acrobatic rivalry with Will Ospreay. Do we want to continue talking about Ms. Caitlin Clark or switch to whatever I just said?
Ricochet's awesome. So is Will Ospreay. He's definitely going to AEW. They'll have great
where else
matches.
would he go? Am I stupid?
No, he's going to get a nice old lump of cash from Tony Khan. He's going to have great wrestling matches and make money, and he's a great guy, and I'm happy for him. So let's go back to Caitlin Clark, shall we?
I think we shall. Here's the thing. There was a lot of sort of using the word think here seems disingenuous. I don't know how much thinking was actually done before people spouted off on their opinions about this Caitlin Clark situation. But there was the idea of, okay, so she's not on the team and everyone's bitching and whining. The alternative is you throw her on the team, but she gets 0 playing time. However, I don't even know if that's accurate because this team has won, I believe, 9 out of 10 times. They beat their opponents by like 23 points a game. Diana Taurasi herself, who this will be her 6th Olympic Games, has 5 gold medals already. It's just, she's 22. She's going to have plenty of time to be on many Olympic teams.
She'll be on when she's 26, when she's 30, when she's 34, maybe when she's 38.
I mean, Taurasi's what, 41? I just feel like, again, in Caitlin Clark, to her credit, my God, she has handled everything. Well. Everything.
No, she couldn't be better. You guys are ruining it.
Ruining it.
You're ruining it. We're like Lenny from Of Mice and Men. We have to we get it. Like, she's awesome. Why does everyone have to try to ruin this? Like, just let her be. She's now turned into, the second I saw Nikki Haley post about it, I'm like, Jesus. Wait a second. You're going to turn this awesome woman who doesn't want any sympathy into the symbol for white fragility? That's what we're doing? We're going to make Caitlin Clark the poster child for fragile white people when she's not that at all. She's more like exactly kind of Larry Bird, right? Like this basketball player from Indiana who really just wants to ball. Yeah. They're not about any of the racial gender dynamics of it. Like, let me just ball. And you just have to ruin it. Can we just let her develop and become the player that she is? I can't take these stories anymore.
In the words of the great Elle Duncan, who hosts WNBA Countdown over on the 4-letter network, you're taking the joy out of all of this. We welcome new eyes, and I'm using her words because I'm also new to WNBA and I don't pretend to be an expert. You are ruining a moment to join a fan base that has already existed for many years, and you are taking the joy out of it. And that's where I am. I am an eye-rolling son of a gun right now because, dear God, what are we talking about? Stop.
It is so annoying. Like, if you don't know anything, it's cool. Like, just don't know anything. Right. What's embarrassing about that?
We can learn together. Ask questions. It's fun.
By the way, that's 90 seconds, which means we've come to a decision. The new, undisputed, most important thing on planet Earth this week is Caitlin Clark and the fact that people just won't shut the fuck up. Oh my God.
That's 2 weeks in a row. I bet this is her biggest honor so far. Does anybody? So who's telling her?
You know what? And God bless her, but I don't even know that she deserves either one. It's just that people won't stop making this a thing.
Taking the joy out of it.
That's it for us. Tune in next week to determine the only thing you need to care about and what goes over the top.